Good evening. We're going to call to order the hearings. Just a second. For code enforcement this evening, it is approximately 5:30. It's June 22nd, 2022. We're here in the Commission chambers for the City of Deltona. The first thing we do on our agenda, if you have an agenda and copy in front of you, you can follow along, is a roll call, so you'll know exactly the names of the folks that are participating on behalf of the city. I'll introduce myself as well. So start there. My name is Bill Reichman. I am an attorney. I've been practicing law for 40 years. I've been the special magistrate for the city of Deltona for several years, appointed by the city commission, and I've been working in the field, so working for local governments and code enforcement for probably 25, 30 years. So with that, let me go ahead and start to my right. If people would, the staff would, and code enforcement officers would please introduce yourselves and your positions for the record.
Officer Gibson, Supervisor, Code Compliance.
Tyler Rousseau, Code Compliance Officer.
Mary Larissy, Code Compliance Officer. Kristen Coulter, Code Compliance Officer.
Steve Brockhoff, Code Compliance Officer.
Taylor Zuka, Code Compliance Officer.
Bashir Turkzy, Code Compliance Officer.
Jeff Scott, Code Compliance Officer.
Danny Rons, Code Enforcement Supervisor.
Richard Lovett, Code Compliance.
Ron Paradise, Community Services.
Thank you, everyone. If you would please join me, stand, and we'll pledge allegiance to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody. So let's talk a little bit about how this works. This is these are code enforcement hearings. The city of Deltona has the burden of establishing that there are violations. They'll go first. At that point, those of you that are here tonight will absolutely have a right to participate. The hearing is quasi-judicial. What that means is that due process has to be observed. Simply put, that simply means that you had to receive notice of tonight's hearing. We're going to keep minutes, and you have the right to testify and to call witnesses. But the formal rules of evidence do not apply. This is not like where you go to small claims court or even circuit court or county court. This is not a public hearing, so what that means is that the public does not participate. These are public. These are quasi-judicial matters, but the general public does not necessarily have the right to testify or present or to give their opinion. We're going to record everything today. I'm going to swear everyone in just a second. And the city will go first. They're going to go, see where this gentleman's standing right here? That's where the city will have to make their case to me. And after that, should you want to testify or give me some information, give me some documents about your case, if you'll see that podium right there where I'm pointing, that's where you'll come up. City goes first, and then you guys can come up and tell me what you want me to hear. The other thing I want you to understand is that in the nature of the type of these hearings, I'm not a judge, I'm not a jury, I'm called a special magistrate. I have not talked to anyone. I haven't talked to any of you. I haven't talked to any of the code enforcement officers. What that means is that I don't know anything about your cases unless what I hear tonight. So that the purpose of that is so that everyone will know that whatever I hear is what you hear. Well, I'm not making my decision based upon what someone told me before the meeting or on a phone call or an email. So the word we call that is there's no ex parte communications. You know what I know based upon what you hear this evening. I have approved the agenda for tonight as well as the minutes from the last meeting. There are some cases that have been withdrawn. I think that the folks, the city folks have alerted those whose cases have been withdrawn and continued, but I'm going to read them out. If you have an agenda, you can follow along with me. These cases have been withdrawn: 22-147, 169, 171, 172, 167, 186, and 098. The continued cases are 22-108, 131, 159, 184, 160, 161, 62, 175, 177, 178, and 179. At this point in time, Like I said before, everyone's testimony today is going to be under oath, so I'm going to ask anyone who wishes to testify or give me evidence today, if you would stand and raise your right hand, and I will swear you in. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you provide tonight will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Great. So when your case is called, again, the city's going to go first, and then when they're done, if you could come up to that place right there, and the only thing I'd ask folks is before you start telling me what you want me to hear, please, for the record, this is for the record, please tell me what your name is and what your address is, so we'll know, because they record it, and I just need to know who everybody is, just in case, you know, we need to know that later on. Okay, the first case that I have been made aware of is DEL 22180, 1684 Providence Boulevard. Is that correct? Again, DEL 22180, Officer Danny Ron, and this is going to be, the address is 1684 Providence Boulevard, has to do with a permit. City ready to proceed?
Yes, sir. Okay. Good evening, sir. My name is Danny Ron. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance supervisor. This will be case number DL 22180, the City of Deltona versus Deltona Animal Medical Center, RAAM, and LLC. The property address is 1684 Providence Boulevard. The parcel ID number is 813014070640. This is a violation of City of Deltona Code Ordinance Section 18-3, adopting the latest edition of the Florida Building Code, Section 105.1, which states that any owner, authorized agent who intends to construct, enlarge, alter, repair, move, demolish, or change the occupancy of a building or structure, or to erect, install, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, convert, or replace any electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system, the installation of which is regulated by this code, or to cause any such work to be done, shall first make application to the building official and obtain a required permit. So in this case, sir, coming to compliance, they must apply for the permit and be issued one. Such a requirement for notification of this hearing has been met by the notice of hearing, and the notice of code violation was sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's record. This is a commercial property at the veterinary office here in Deltona. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in the case, including the photographs, has been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk, and you do have the originals. Sir, this case began in January 10th of this year, 2022. I was notified by the fire inspectors and fire marshal that there was work done in this structure and no permit has been applied for. It is June 22nd today, and as of today, there are no permits have been applied for.
So have you done the inspection to determine whether what work was done without a permit?
The fire marshal has, and they provided the photos. Unfortunately, some reason the system doesn't want to open up these files for the photos.
Well, I have the photos. Just for,
It's exactly what.
yeah. If you could just, for the folks in the audience, what is it? What's the city's understanding of what was done and why a permit was necessary?
It looks like they added they made a room, I guess, added walls to a room. To the lobby, they added a partition. It looks like there was some electrical work done when they did this remodeling in this office.
Okay, it looks like we've got some skilled people here who might be able to get, just so everyone can see what we're talking about. Is that it for the city?
This is you're going to need another file format.
Yes, sir.
Okay, is there anyone here for the Deltona Animal Medical Center, or RAM Land LLC?
You're going to get another file for this. Are there anyone else?
Sir, if you could just come up over here, give me your name and your address, and tell me what you want me to hear.
Yes, it's Ryan Forrest, and 1684 Providence Boulevard. That's the commercial address.
Yes, sir, that's fine.
Okay. I'm sorry, I don't have the photos in hand, so I can't answer to the photos themselves. The original issue, I guess, was that work was completed without a permit.
Yeah, it's as simple as that. Just need to get a permit.
We had hired a contractor. This was during the middle of COVID. They were supposed to take care of all of that, you can imagine. It was a surprise to us that things hadn't been filed and whatnot. You can see on record that we did actually have permits for HVAC and other things that were completed. So we assumed that it had been done. The reason it took until April, I think it was early March or April, was they were talking to people inside the clinic, and I live in North Carolina mostly, so it's not owing that I didn't care. It just wasn't available to be in the.
Well, let me ask this question.
Yes,
Do you
sir.
acknowledge that you need to get a permit?
I do. What I need is guidance on how to do that, because the commercial sector is really hard right now.
Sure.
Finding anybody who will do work at all.
So that's a fair question. Let me throw this back to the city, because this is a question I ask. We just started tonight, but this is a question that I ask almost every time. So, and this would be for anyone in the city. What do you think would be a reasonable time for this gentleman to come in? Because it's not my job to tell you how to go get your permit. I hope you appreciate that. That's not what I do for a living. But these folks here can give you that help. What would be a reasonable time to give this gentleman to go and get his permit?
We had down, we requested 30 days.
30 days. Okay. So that's really all we are. I mean, and so what my job is to give you a reasonable period of time to come into compliance, and then I'm the bad guy, so that if you don't come into compliance by that date, then a fine starts to run. Sure. And I don't want to do that. They don't want to do it. You don't want to do that. Sure. That's why we want to have it as a reasonable time. So they're saying 30 days. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, it's not an issue of us wanting to comply. It's just really not knowing how, unfortunately. Because like I said, our contractor, what I was coming around to is his, I believe it was his grandson had passed away in Utah, and he just left,
Sure.
gone. I can't get him on the phone, and it's really difficult to find anybody who wants to do anything with work that's already been done.
Do me this favor. Before you leave, if you could check with, who should he be talking to as far as, getting in touch with someone here at the city to start this process?
After this meeting or this session concludes, I'll walk outside with the gentleman
Okay,
here.
so
We can talk.
we'll get you started. Before you leave here today, we'll get you started. Okay?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to find 30 days is reasonable for you to comply. You're in violation. And what's the city's looking for? As far
$100 per day, sir.
Okay, so again, that's the hammer, if you will. That's that's how the process works. That if you don't come into compliance within 30 days, then a fine will start. And I think $100 is fine. You've done some work in there. We want to make sure it gets done, because if the contractor did it wrong and something bad happened, then we don't want that either. So it'd be $100 per day. Now that doesn't mean that's going to start now. It means that if after 30 days from today you still haven't done anything, then the fine starts. So what I'm going to ask you, the last thing, and the order will say this, but when you get done, everything's in compliance, you need to let this gentleman know. Okay, so then they'll find you in compliance and the fine won't start.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. So I'm going to find that you're in violation, not you, but the property's in violation. 30 days is reasonable period for to comply, or a fine in the amount of $100 per day. Fair enough? Okay.
Yes.
Thanks for being here tonight. Look forward to seeing compliance.
Thank you for your time.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, the next case is 22159. 22159. Let me get there. Okay, I have this marked as continued.
(22-159) was continued.
So question for the city. Happy to hear it, but it's on my...
Myron.
What's the number?
159.
22-159 was continued.
Okay, just when they give me the folder and the file, I take action on it unless you tell me otherwise. Okay, the next case is 22187.
Ma'am, is that you?
I'm one.
I'll take it.
I don't know what that means.
Sorry about that, ma'am.
What you said,
22187. Okay, this is property address 2489 Barbarossa Avenue. It has to do with the roof and the flashing, and it's Officer Jeff Scott. Ma'am, the city goes first, and then I'll hear from you for sure, okay? City ready to proceed? Officer Jeff Scott?
He went in back to upload some photos.
Beg your pardon? He's not here.
He's not in here right now. He's walking through the hall.
Okay, tell you what, we'll just put that one on hold for now, and we'll just move on. This one's done. Okay, the next case is the same address. And, okay. Until he gets back, we're going to move on. This next one is 22182. 22182, and that is the address 3001 Surf Drive, Deltona.
That's also Scott, sir.
Okay.
Bashir.
So the last file that I have for those that are here today is DEL 22174. We will be coming back to the others. Just give me a chance to get there. Okay. 22174, the property address is 514 Giraldo Avenue, and it has to do with debris, and it's Officer Bashir
Good evening, sir.
Turksi. Did I get that right?
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Bashir Turksi. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a Code Compliance Officer. This will be case number DEL 22174, the City of Deltona versus Montalvo David. The property address is 514 Giraldo Avenue. Parcel ID number is 81 300 5240180. This violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance, this is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 38-110B2, which states that accumulations of waste, yard trash, rubble, and/or debris are declared to be nuisance and must be abated in their entirety. Corrective action for said violation is to dispose of items properly or store inside an enclosed building. Statutory requirements. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation being sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. This case was opened on April 26, 22, in response to a complaint concerning debris and outside storage at this property. A notice of violation was posted on April 26th, and the resident was given until May 5th to address the violations. Several attempts were made to make contact with the residents with no success. Upon my reinspection of the property today, the debris was removed from the front of the house and placed behind a newly installed fence. However, the violations were still visible from the neighbor's backyard.
Couple questions, if I can interrupt. There we go. You answered my question. I was hoping we could get these photos up.
Sorry about that.
So, no, that's all right. So the photos that we're all looking at right now, are these photos that you took today to show the current condition, or are these photos before?
This one right here is from the 28th. I will play the slideshow for you so you can see the ones that I took
because you said
today.
that there was what it was before and now what it is today. So it's
Absolutely.
important for us.
This is the before picture. Let me play the slideshow here. So as I was saying, sir, the violations were still visible from the neighbor's backyard, and the city would like to request 14 days for the property to come into compliance or a fine of $100 per day to be imposed until such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
So what I'm looking for, if you could, when we get to that point in the slideshow, I want to see what it looks like today when you went out there, because that's not today.
No,
Is that today?
no, sir.
Okay, you'll let me know.
Yes. So this is today. So as you can see, the debris and the outside storage that was outside in front of the garage was removed and placed behind the fence.
Is that a new fence?
That's a new fence that was installed yesterday.
Got it.
And this is another picture showing that the bricks that were up front were moved to the side of the house.
So the violation is different, same code, but it's because, and is that from the neighbor?
This is from today. Whatever was in the backyard is still there.
Okay.
So nothing has changed in the back, only the debris that was up front was moved behind the fence.
So the compliance would be to remove the debris from the backyard.
Correct.
Got it. And not move it to a side yard, and not move it back to the front yard, but just move it from the property.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Is there someone here, either David Montalvo or someone representing him? Yes, sir. Please come forward. Give me your name and your address, and tell me what you want me to hear.
My name is David Montalvo. I live in 514 Giralda Avenue, Giralda. And when I got this compliance, I thought that they were meant to remove you from the front yard. So that's what I did, and I didn't. The material that was on the building was material construction to build that fence that you just saw. So my neighbor was complaining about that, so I was trying to work on it. And those bricks that you saw there, they're put on inside the ground to make that side look better. So they should go inside, but it's a working process. And to get people to help is just hard. I did that myself. So I got some permit done, and I got everything in order here to construct the fence. So, but I never knew that they were complaining about the things behind that right there. So I didn't clean it because I thought it was only to the front.
Right.
If I would have known something, I would have cleaned everything out. But I work in construction, so all that material is for my use for when I go work. So I don't have a place where to put it at. So I use my backyard to put my stuff, I pick it up, take it to work, come back, put it in the back instead of the front. Now I'm going to use my backyard. So,
Well, the problem, here's the problem, and that is that this is a residential area. This is your home. And for better or for worse in the city of Deltona, the city of Deltona has passed an ordinance which says you can't have the storage of commercial or industrial construction materials in your backyard. So I know that's what you would like, but that's a code violation, and that's why we're here tonight. So the city is saying that you've got to remove those items from your backyard, those construction materials from your backyard. They're saying to give you 14 days to do so, or requesting a fine of $100 per day. And I do find that the materials you have in your backyard shouldn't be there under the code. We can have a debate about whether the code is right or wrong, but that's not for tonight. In the city of Deltona right now, you're just not allowed to have the materials those would need to be put in storage somewhere or moved inside your garage or something like that in order for you to come into compliance. That's not for me to tell you how to come into compliance. It's just that there is a violation. So really what I'm asking you, sir, is how much time do you think you need to get rid of all that stuff?
I appreciate I get at least 30 days. It's a lot of stuff to move back. I need to get a dumpster to put stuff in it.
Okay. What does the city say to that?
I think 30 days would be fine.
Okay, all right. Okay, well, that's fine then. That's fine. So what I'm going to find is that today, that there is, the property's in violation, but that you have 30 days. I'm going to put that in the order to comply. And like I was telling the gentleman before you, the way the order is written, and this is the way the law works, that if the property's not fixed up, and this gentleman will come check within 30 days from today, then a fine will start. And it's going to be $100 per day. Now, we don't want to do that. You don't want that. So when you bring the property in compliance, sir, if you'd let this gentleman know that you brought it in compliance, he'll come out, he'll inspect it to make sure, and then that'll be the end of it. Does that sound good?
Yes, I have a good question. I got like tools. I got that toolbox there that, if that needs to be removed too, because that's quite that's what I put my tools in it.
No, that is fine. You can keep that. That's considered outside storage. The reason one of the notices that we left you for outside storage is toolboxes and items like that you could use for any purpose. You can have them as long as they're stored inside and not left like that in front of
So
the
inside,
garage.
the back of the building?
Yes,
where it
as
is,
long
on
as they're behind the
side?
fence.
Because I built a fence for that purpose,
So-
to put my stuff.
Let me tell you
that
this.
visible
Let
on the
me
outside.
suggest that you get with this gentleman and go through these photos so that there's not a misunderstanding or a confusion about communication. I
Right.
think that's the most important thing, because you're here, everyone's clear that you're trying to cooperate. The city simply wants to, do its job and enforce the code, which is what the city commission wants. So if you just communicate with him, get it clear about what it is you need to fix, and then you have 30 days to do that.
Okay.
Okay?
Sounds good.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you being here tonight.
You're welcome.
You got the case same
Yeah,
address, correct?
we have another one.
Hold on one second.
Is there another one?
Yes, sir.
Not at this address.
Yes, sir, hold on.
Oh, it shows it was withdrawn. There's a bunch of, oh, yeah, no, I see, there's one more that hasn't been withdrawn.
170.
Okay, thank you. Okay, fair enough, sorry about that. 22170, same address, same property owner. This is a different case, though. This is improper storage. City ready to proceed?
Yes, sir.
Is this a different set of facts?
It is concerning outside storage. The
I
reason we
understand that, but I
opened
mean-
two cases, one for debris and one for outside storage, is because some of the items, the debris didn't have any value, while the outside storage, some of the items are valuable. So
Okay.
that's why we separated both cases.
Okay, fair enough. So let me cut to the chase, sir. Different case. There's some items out there that clearly is not debris, but they're still not properly stored outside. I'm assuming the city's going to ask for the same thing.
Correct.
Does that sound fair to you on this case as well?
Yes, I would like to know with him what is the issue.
Exactly.
So I could
Well, go ahead and tell him then. That's fair. It's a fair request. You tell him, just tell him what it is that is the basis for this violation.
So basically, the difference, debris is anything that's trash, that's basically of no value. While, your tools and
That was the prior
concrete,
case. The debris
that
was the prior
first one.
case.
The other items are considered outside storage, items of value, like tools, the concrete, pavement, and all that. So that's a separate case.
Yes, I have
okay?
like a small gazebo that I bought, and I'm requesting right now with the city permit to pour some concrete slab, so I could put it on there because I want to make it look nice out there. So that part is storage in the back too. It's just a metal gazebo that I bought just to put it in, but I want to put it on the ground unless I put a concrete slab on it. That's why you see it there.
Sir, if I may give him my business card, that way you can contact me.
It sounds like you guys are going to be able to work through this. So I'm going to find that the 30 days that we talked about in the last hearing is fair for you to comply here. It's just two different things. Some that is the debris. Remember you said before you're going to get a dumpster and that's the debris. Well, you don't want to get rid of the materials that have value to you. So you're not going to throw those in the dumpster. So 30 days to throw the stuff you don't want in the dumpster, and 30 days to relocate or move inside the other items, which you want to store. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Again, thank you for being here. Please work with this gentleman and just communicate, and I think everything will work out.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Next.
Okay, looks like we've got our wandering officer, Scott. We have two cases, 22187 and 22188, 2489 Barbarossa Avenue. We've got roof and flashing in 22187 and plumbing fixtures 22188. So we'll start out with 187. Officer Scott.
My name is Officer Scott. I'm employed by the city of Deltona as a code compliance officer. Introduction to the case. This case will be DEL 22187.
Officer Scott, let me interrupt you for a second. Sir, you were here in the last case. Did you need to speak with the code enforcement officer? Okay. Okay. Go ahead, sir. Sorry to interrupt.
The city of Deltona versus J. DeGenario Trust. The property address is 2489 Barbarossa, parcel ID 8130740600040. This is a violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18.5, adopting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 3047, which states the roof and flashing shall be sound tight and not have defects that emit rain. Corrective action for said violation is to replace the roof. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's record. In addition, both notices was posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayal of what I observed the day they were taken. This case was started as a complaint from the tenants regarding the roof in disrepair. On March 10th, I was advised to take over this case from a previous officer that is no longer with the city. On that day, it was raining, and I was able to take photos and a video of water coming from the ceiling near the AC vent. A notice of violation was issued on April 15th. On April 29th, the property owner was given a 30-day extension to come into compliance. On June 2nd, I spoke with Crystal Hickson via phone, and she stated she was the property owner. She told me the outside repairs were completed and the tenants would not allow them inside to do the repairs. On June 8th, the notice of violation, on June 8th, the notice of hearing was posted on the property and the tenants allowed me to take photos of the violation that still exists on the property. I spoke with the property owner on June 10th via phone and advised her that the outside repairs were not done. She stated she wanted to meet me on the property so I can show her exactly where the violations are. She also stated she would call back to schedule that time to meet. I met with the tenants at the property today, and as of 22 hours, the property remains in violation and the property owner has not contacted me. The city would like to request 14 days for the property to come into compliance or a fine of $250 per day to be imposed until such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance. I have the tenants here today. They want
Okay. We'll see if we need them. Let me talk with the property owner first. Is there someone here representing 2489 Barbarossa Avenue? Yes, ma'am. Please come forward and give me your name and your address, please.
My name is Krista Hickson, and the address, it's 2489 Barbarossa Avenue.
You're the owner of the property?
Yes.
Okay. This case, we've got two cases. This case just has to do with the roof and the flashing. Could you tell me what your side of the case is, please?
Well, what I have to say would have to do with all of them. I have 3 cases here, and I don't contest any of the work that needs to be done. I have...
Okay, yeah, one case was withdrawn. That was the exterior walls, is that correct? Officer Scott, I've shown that one of the 3 cases.
Yes, the exterior walls.
We just have 2 cases remaining. I just wanted to
Okay,
clarify that.
I thought
with
that
you
one
first,
still
ma'am.
needed painting.
Yeah, so let's just talk about the roof and the flashing. I thought I just heard you say that you acknowledge that their repairs need to be made.
Yeah.
So what that leaves us with is what's a reasonable period of time for you to get these repairs made to the roof and the flashing? And the city's saying it's 14 days. I need your input on that.
Well, the thing is, I need the house vacated in order for me to be able to do the work. And I have a mediation order for it to be vacated by July 1st. So I just need some time after that to do it.
So when you say a mediation order, you mean a court order?
Well, I filed for eviction because we had trouble getting the work done because the tenants were not working with us to get in the house. We did experience some, sorry, I have it written down.
And I'm not trying to get into your business with
No, but
landlord
just,
tenant.
it was an aggressive situation. I mean, he did like physically assault the contractor who I work with.
Right.
And stealing his tools. And it just got to a point where I'm personally afraid to go over there. It's a liability for me to send somebody there, so I need it vacated just so I can do the work.
So let me understand that. And I appreciate everything you said, but really the important thing for the city and for me to determine is what is a reasonable period of time. And that takes into consideration your access to do the work inside, which I get. I totally understand that. So that's why I'm trying to understand a little bit more about this order that you said. Do you have a copy of that order?
Yes, right here.
Would you be kind enough to give it to that officer so that he can show it to me? Or an officer? I just need to understand a little bit better about what the order says. Yeah, just hang on for a second because she needs this back. Do you need this back?
That's just a copy, so you can have that.
I can keep this. Good. Okay, I'm good. Thanks. Just give me a second to
It's
review
okay.
it, please. Okay, this is, you must have gone to a mediation, like you
Yes.
said, and this is basically an agreed-upon solution,
Yes.
settlement. It's called a stipulation, and it says that you'll have access, or you should have access by the end of this month.
That's the plan, yes.
Okay, so, see, today is the 22nd, 14 days. How long, let's say you get access on July 1. Any idea how long it would take you to make the repairs to the roof and the flashing?
I mean, he said he can get it done in less than a week, so I'd like to have some padding in case if something comes up,
Sure,
so a couple weeks
sure.
at least.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Let me hear, I'm inclined, given what I've seen, what I've heard, to give this young lady a little bit more time to come into compliance. I was unaware of the issue about the getting in to do the work. I think that's relevant, and then the amount of time necessary to do the work. Do you need, I mean, this is your call. Do you need me to hear from the tenants?
Well, I spoke with the tenants. They say they allow her to do it. She just didn't go take care of it. So that's why they're here today.
Again, you know what? I'm not going to get in the middle of whatever's going on there. I mean, that's fine, and I hope that is the case. I hope they can work this out. But the bottom line is the work needs to be done, and I want, in case that doesn't work out, I just want to be safe and make sure that this property and this young lady has the reasonable amount of time. So I think what I'm going to do, unless you want me to hear something more, I'm going to, because it's not my role to determine anything about the tenancy, whether the tenants stay or the tenants leave. Not my job, okay? So we just want to get the property fixed up. So I'm going to give you 21 days.
Okay.
To get in there, and that's either with them there or with them out, and then you can get your partner, whoever it is, to get in there and fix it up, okay?
All right.
21 days or a fine of $100 per day.
Okay.
Okay, so that gives you 21 days from today. And again, you've heard me say this before. When you get the property fixed up, you need to let this guy right here know.
Okay. Now, I know he's tried to call him a couple times and did not get any answers. I don't know if there's a better way to contact.
I'm going to leave that for the two of you to make sure that you have this gentleman's contact information, and then and I'm sure if you get through to him, he'll call you back if he doesn't answer the phone.
Mr. Reichman. Mr. Reichman, Richard Lovett. Can we make that 28 days instead of 21? You're going to lose 10 to 11 days before she even has access.
Okay.
And I think it's only fair.
It's 4 weeks. How about that?
Thank you, I
You
appreciate
got
it.
an extra week. Don't thank me,
Thank you
thank
very
him.
much.
Okay, that case is done. 22-188, I believe is the next case, same property.
Can I have the actual date?
Beg your pardon?
I just need the date.
I can figure it out when I
Okay.
go into this case.
Okay, so the next case is involving plumbing fixtures.
It's all going to be the same
We're moving on to
thing.
the next case.
Okay.
And this one's not about the roof, it's not about the flashing, different situation, different case. This one has to do with the plumbing.
Okay,
So this guy gets to go first, and then I want to hear from you again. We'll go through the same drill.
okay.
My name is Officer Scott. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This case will be DEL 22188, the City of Deltona versus J. DeGenario. Property address is 2489 Barbarossa Avenue. Parcel ID is 8130740600040. Hold on a second. This is a violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18.5, adopting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code 504.1, which states that all plumbing fixtures shall be properly installed and maintained in working order and shall be kept free from obstruction, leaks, and defects, and capable of performing the function for which such plumbing fixtures are designed. Corrective action for said violation is to repair or replace damaged plumbing. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's record. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken. This case was started as a complaint from the tenants regarding plumbing issues. On March 10th, I was advised to take over this case from a previous officer that is no longer with the city. On that day, the male tenant advised he plugged the pipe outside, but the drain in the kitchen sink was draining slower. A notice of violation was issued on April 15th. On April 29th, the property owner was given 30-day extension to come into compliance. On June 2nd, I spoke with Crystal Hitson via phone, and she stated she was the property owner. She told me the tenants would not allow them again inside to do the repairs. On June 8th, the notice of hearing was posted on the property, and the tenants allowed me to take photos of the violation that still exists on the property. The tenants stated the kitchen sink drain is slow and even worse when they're doing laundry, since the laundry room is next to the kitchen. I spoke with the property owner on June 10th via phone, and to advise her the repairs were not done. She stated she wanted to meet me on the property to show her exactly what the violations are. She also stated she would call back to her scheduled time. I met with the tenants today, and as of 15-22 hours, the property remains in violation, and the property owner has not contacted me. The city will like to request 14 days for the property to come into compliance, or a fine of $250 per day to be imposed until such time that the property owner has notified the city.
All right, officer, and to the extent that you can answer these questions, please do. I need you to just, if you can stop that thing as it trolls through there, stop right there, if you can. Okay, my question is, it looks like a pipe that's draining some liquid from inside the house.
Yeah, when they're running their kitchen faucet, the water comes out through that pipe there.
Okay, this should otherwise be on sanitary sewer.
Correct.
Okay, all right. So that pipe there is from the kitchen sink.
Correct.
Okay. Can you move on to the next one? That one. Dare I ask, what is that draining?
That's the same one. It's just different photos.
Okay. Because there's some brown stuff there that looks really bad. Okay. If I could hear from the owner again, please, ma'am. Again, if you just identify yourself and all that.
Hi, I'm Krista Hickson, the owner of 2489 Barbarossa. Same thing, I'm not contesting the work. I don't think what he's asking me to do is unreasonable. I just need to have access to take care of it.
So I guess what we're looking at, bottom line, is 28 days again, or $100 per day. Okay?
That's fair.
Okay. All right, so that's what I'm going to order. I mean, it's clear that the property's in violation, and we just need to have a reasonable period of time for the property owner to bring it into compliance. So I'm going to order as 28 days. Is that reasonable period of time because of all the factors we've talked about?
I think so.
Or $100 per day fine. And again, I'm going to ask you to make sure that when it's fixed, I'm going to assume it's fixed, you'll let this gentleman know so that we don't have the fine.
All right, thank you.
Okay? Thank you for being here tonight. I appreciate
All
it,
right,
ma'am.
thank you.
Good luck to you.
So that
Okay,
gives
the next
you,
case is 22182.
ma'am,
22182.
Jeff.
This is the case of 3001 Surf Drive, Deltona, Florida. Property owner Robert Amon. It's debris and trash. Robert Scott. Jeff Scott.
My name is Officer Scott. I'm employed by the city of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case DEL 22182, the city of Deltona versus Robert C. Amon. The property address is 3001 Surf Drive. Parcel ID is 8130330400020. This is a violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance Section 38110 Bravo 2, which states that accumulation of waste, yard waste, rubble, and/or debris are declared to be a nuisance and must be abated in their entirety. Corrective action for said violation is to properly dispose or store inside of enclosed building. The statutory requirements for notification of the hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's record. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken. This proactive case was started on February 25th, 2022 for the debris around the property. On that day, I spoke with the brother of the property owner who stated he was helping his brother clean up the property. On April 14th, I issued a notice of violation and explained the violation to the brother of the property owner who was on scene. On June 8th, I posted the notice of hearing to the property and contacted the property owner, Robert. He stated he should have the property cleaned up by the day of the hearing. I conducted a site visit today, and as of 14:59 hours, the property remains in violation. The city would like to request 7 days for the property to come into compliance or a fine of $100 a day to be imposed until such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
Thank you, sir. Someone here on behalf of 3001 Surf Drive, Mr. Amon, or someone else?
That's the property owner.
My name is Robert Amon. I live at 3001 Surf Drive. I've heard it pronounced 1,000 different ways. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I'm
My
sorry
last
for
name's
that.
Reichman, so I try to get it right. What do you have to say, sir?
Well, I met this officer last week. He informed me that I guess he's been talking to my brother since February. My fiance has developed dementia. I deal with a 5-year-old granddaughter through a DCF case, and I am luckily still employed through the pandemic. So I moved my brother into my home to try and help with my fiance because I can't just have her wandering into the street during the day. So what he does for his income is, you'd call him a scrapper. He pulls his trailer and he gets scrap and he takes it to the scrapyard. He's created a lot of this problem for me. Now, I learned something new in this meeting tonight regarding the building materials that I have on the site. It's not that I have a great love for concrete masonry units, but I am in the middle of developing plans for an addition over the dining room and kitchen. And that's why those building products have been brought onto the property, and I've tried to keep them back behind the bushes over on the side until they're used. So that's why those products are there. And then as far as the items in the front, I think my brother's got half of those out of there, and I can deal with the rest of those. I think the officer was by today, my brother said, and wants to give him another week to have all of that stuff out of the front. But again, as I said, I've learned something new regarding the building materials.
Let me interrupt you. So is this case involving the building materials? Remember, we had the earlier case, there were 2 cases.
Yeah, so everything that's not lawn related needs to be in an enclosed structure.
Okay,
I explained
so this
that to
case
him.
deals with just the debris and the trash, not the building materials.
All debris around the property.
Okay, this deals, what I'm hearing is this case, this matter that we're all talking about right now, and I'm just relying upon what you're telling me, sir, is this is all the stuff that your brother's bringing on the property, which is code violation. And
Right, he did not bring the concrete masonry
No,
units on
I'm
the
talking
property.
about all the scrapper stuff.
Okay.
And some of it's gone, but the rest of it needs to be gone. And so what I'm hearing is that, there's a violation out there with regard to the scrapper stuff, for lack of a better term, okay?
Understood.
And the question then is, what's a reasonable period of time? And your brother had indicated to the city that it would be done by today. Obviously, that didn't happen. So the city's asking for 7 more days. And I'm asking you, like I've done everyone else, do you agree with that? That 1 week, this violation will be corrected?
Well, when I thought we were talking about the debris in the front that he had brought, I would agree a week is just fine. But now that I believe we're talking about the concrete masonry units and things,
we're not talking about the concrete. Is that right?
No, yes, we were talking about that as well. So anything that's not supposed to be outside, supposed to be inside of.
Okay, well, hang on a second. Then I'm confused. Because in an earlier case, you brought 2 different cases, because you said that there was, the one code had to do with debris and trash, and the other.
Okay, I was just advised not to worry about the bricks. The bricks is fine.
Okay, so let's be really clear. So that's fair, only fair to this gentleman. What is it that the city is contending needs to be removed?
Everything besides the bricks.
Okay, so again, I've brought plywood, which is covered, but that is for the addition that's going over the dining room and kitchen. Again, I'm working with Bojack Engineering right now on trying to finish up plans and engineering. But again, I was unaware that bringing those products out previously was a violation. So, we've got 2 things going on here, and I don't want to
That's what
I don't want to lie to you.
I absolutely, I'm just trying to get what's reasonable. I don't want to put in an order that you can't comply with, because I'm not trying to set you up for failure. So what I'm trying to understand
I
is from-
agree, the barbecue should not be in front of the garage door. There are a lot of items there that just should not be there and will not be there
They
next
should be in
week.
your garage or somewhere off property, that kind of thing.
But, as I said, I got surprised with the previous case with
Here's
building
what I'm gonna do.
materials.
I'm going to find that the property remains in violation, and I'm going to give you 3 weeks to comply, 21 days, okay, or $100 per day. I'll give you a little extra time, because you've made some progress and appreciate that. I hear what you're telling me about your situation with your brother and everything. I get it. So I'm going to give you a little extra time. I want you to cooperate with this gentleman to coordinate exactly what needs to be removed in a timely fashion, because the last thing we want to do is have a fine on your property. Okay? That's what I'm going to order.
Mr.
Okay, you understand? 21 days.
I understand that, yes.
Good. All right, thank you, sir.
Mr. Reichman, I'm just going to add to that just to kind of help him clarify this thing. So the only items that are supposed to be stored outdoors are supposed to be outdoor furniture and that kind of thing. So construction material, any kind of material like that has to be inside of an enclosed structure.
Okay, well, that's just something I was not aware of.
Understand. All right, thank you, sir, for being here tonight. Please, just as I said.
Now, if I can't have the permit and the construction underway within 21 days, I have to pay to have all that stuff removed and brought back at a later date?
We'll work with you on that. We'll work with you, sir, on that.
I mean, I'm not collecting them, I'm going to use them for the construction, that's why.
Just work with these gentlemen.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you being
Thank
here
you, Your
tonight.
Honor. Thank you.
Okay, the next case is 22 DEL, 22-138, 435 West King Way. It's a Massey case. Officer Muse.
Officer Muse is not here, so I'm gonna present
Got
the
it.
case for him.
Yes, sir.
My name is Danny Ron. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code enforcement supervisor. This will be Massey case number DL 22138, City of Deltona versus Christopher E. Reiner. The property address is 435 West Kingway Drive. Parcel ID number is 813023150030. This was a violation of City of Deltona Code Ordinance Section 18-5, adopting the latest edition of International Property Maintenance Code 302.7. In this case, it was a fencing disrepair. The such requirement for notification of the hearings has been met by the notice of hearing, and the notice of code violation was sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with property appraiser's record. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. Sir, I was out at the property, and it is compliance today. However, on the ruling of May 11th, a special med hearing, you gave the property owner 7 days to come to compliance. When the officer went out to the property on May 19, it was still in violation. As of that date to today is 35 days, $100 per day, and a total fine of $3,500 as of today, sir.
Property's in compliance right
But the
now.
compliance is today, correct.
What is the city's request, given that the property's in compliance?
We were okay to do a reduction. I'm saying $500 from the $3,500 that was initially.
That's the city's recommendation.
Yes, sir.
Let me hear from the property owner then. Mr. Reiner? Please give me your name and your address when you get over there, and tell me what you think is the right thing to do here.
435 West Kingley. I was handed papers, if you remember, when I was leaving here last month, that I had to pull a permit. It took me 7 days to get that permit. So I didn't get my permit until the 17th of that month. I got the paperwork and everything.
Well, you're in compliance now. We
Right.
understand that.
Right.
Today, let me explain what this case is about today. Because the time that was in the last order, you didn't get it done by that time, then I have the right today to impose a fine at $100 per day for every day
Right.
that beyond that deadline. I am not inclined to do that. So I'm just trying to, the city said that, let me rephrase that. Based upon the city's evidence, I could, if legally, if I wanted to impose a fine of $3,500. Not going to do that. City's saying, let's reduce it to $500. I'd like your opinion on that.
I had to pull a permit. It took me, like I said, until the 17th to get the permit.
Okay.
Which I was already, past the time.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to reduce the fine to $300. Okay? So I could impose a fine of $3,500. You're in compliance. That's what we're trying to do here.
Right.
Thank you. So I'm going to reduce the fine from $3,500 to $300. Okay?
Okay.
And you'll get an order saying that.
All right.
All right. I appreciate you working with the city.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Go out to the other violation, make sure we take care of it.
Oh, that's going to be taken care of today, so.
Okay, I believe the next case is 22-158-737 Waterfall Circle. Officer Brockhoff? This has to do with commercial vehicles.
It's right now.
I've got DEL 22-158, Officer Brockhoff.
My name is Steve Brock. I'm employed with the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 22-158, City of Deltona versus Barry Kalecki. Property address is 737 Waterfall Circle, Deltona. The parcel ID number is 813-0281-90011. This is a violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance Section 66-18, subsection F and G, restrictions on trucks and other vehicles, which states, except as provided in subsection G below, no commercial vehicle may be stored or parked in front, forward of the edge of the principal dwelling to include approved driveways. Vehicles under 10,000 pounds gross vehicle weight, but greater than 21 feet in length or greater than 10 feet in height must be stored behind the side or rear yards. And G, subsection G is one commercial vehicle under 21 feet in length, under 10 feet in height with a gross vehicle weight less than 10,000 pounds, or one limousine shall be permitted to be parked or stored in a residential or agriculture area in the driveway or approved driveway extension, side yard, or rear yard, provided said vehicle does not obstruct the sidewalk or extend it into the right-of-way. Trailers must be stored inside or rear yards and must be parked in accordance with Section 66-19. Statutory requirements for this notification of hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of violation were sent by mail to the property owner listed property at the address listed property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall and on the property at least 10 days prior to the hearing. All evidence case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the code board clerk. I certify that all the photographs and to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed in the day they were taken. This case began in December 2021 when Public Works notified code enforcement that the right-of-ways were being torn up on the property and the adjacent property. Upon arrival, I noticed the several violations and issued those cases. This particular case is involving the earth-moving equipment, which is defined as commercial equipment under Deltona ordinances.
So let me interrupt if I could. What I'm seeing from these photos again and again is you got two different pieces of equipment. One's yellow, one's red. Is that what we're talking about tonight?
That's correct.
Okay, please go forward.
We've worked with Mr. Kalecki on this, and to cut to the chase, he has told me he sold the yellow tractor, that one. I was down on this property today and observed the only tractor that I saw was the red one. And he now has moved that to behind the front face, which puts him in compliance. What the city would request is that it be found in non-compliance at the time of posting and in compliance now.
Okay, is Mr. Kalecki here?
Yes, he is.
So, Mr. Kalecki, let me tell you what I hear. Give you your name and address, please.
Barry Kalecki, 737 Waterfall Circle.
Point of order, Your Honor. Has Mr. Kalecki been sworn in?
I don't know.
Yeah, when I walked in, I raised my hand.
Okay, thank you, sir. Didn't know. Okay, Mr. Kalecki, here's what I've heard, is that the city's case, they're saying you're in compliance now. So that's good. But they're saying that there was, in the notice of violation, which is required under the state law, that there's a deadline for compliance. And I don't know what that was, but the bottom line was at that time, at that deadline, you weren't in compliance yet. So what they're asking for me to do is enter an order today, which I'm inclined to do, that says that you're in compliance now. No fine, no cost, you don't pay anything. But that the order will say that, the property was not brought into compliance by the deadline in the notice of violation. Now, what does that mean? All in, what does that mean? It means if this happens again, the same code violation happens again, within 5 years, then it would be treated as what's called a repeat violation. And then the consequences, it's going to get more expensive. So that's what the city's asking, and I'm asking you for your comments on that.
I was never told that I was never violated, from my understanding, that I couldn't park it in my driveway.
Well, the notice of violation was legally served on you. And at that point in time, in that notice of violation, it indicates the code that was arguably violated. So what you can do is you can go online, or you could have called this gentleman and found out exactly what it was you needed to do.
Well, at the last hearing, okay, it was found out that I wasn't in violation, and I was allowed to have the yellow one, which I sold.
Right.
So if that wasn't a violation, then the red one shouldn't be, because the red one weighs a whole lot less than the yellow one.
So I'm trying to understand,
the yellow one?
You've moved the red one though, right?
I leave it, I park it on the back, I park it in the back, but I wasn't in violation of it being parked in my driveway. No one ever told me that.
Okay, well, fair enough, so let me ask the city.
To clarify, the red one is also earth-moving equipment, which defines it as commercial. So
So the weight's not relevant?
The weight's not relevant.
Okay.
If it was over 10,000 pounds, and I could prove it was over 10,000 pounds, then the red one would not be able to be there either.
Okay, just not there at all. But
Right.
because we don't know how much it weighs, it can be in the backyard.
That's correct. It's defined as a commercial vehicle, but under our ordinance, you're allowed to have like a limousine or something like that
All right.
parked behind
All
the
right.
front
Fair
face of
enough.
the house.
That's why you read all that stuff before.
Yeah.
All right, so what I'm hearing is that the city's position is, you're right, we don't know the weight, but it's still a commercial vehicle. You can keep it on your property, you just can't keep it in the driveway.
That's no problem.
So you've complied.
Right, I don't like the threat of all the fineage, because if I had known, I'd just pull it around the side. Not a big deal.
Okay, well, as we've, half of the problem in the world is a failure to communicate, as I said in that old movie. What we have here is a failure to communicate. One of my favorite movies, favorite lines. So what I'm going to order is, what I'm going to find that the property is now in compliance. No fine, no cost, nothing. But that it was in violation at the time. And all I'd ask you to do is just make sure that you keep that behind the fence in the backyard, and then we'll never have to worry about this again, okay?
Fair enough.
Okay, thanks for being here tonight.
One more.
Okay, the next case is, we have just one, or is it two of them? Two cases, same property, DEL 22183 and 185.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Before we continue, we have a second one.
There should be another one with him, Danny, 22-190.
Yeah.
Three of them.
It's going to be
Oh, I'm sorry.
741 Waterfall. It's
I didn't
is
know
the
that.
adjacent property.
Okay, let me get back to it then. 22190. My bad.
Actually, my bad.
Okay, so the last case we've resolved, and we're moving on, sir. Sorry for the confusion. 22190-741 Waterfall Circle. This is debris. Different matter. This one's just about the debris.
My
It's a
name is
new
Steve
case,
Barker.
not a Massey case. Go ahead, sir.
My name is Steve Brock. I'm employed with the City of Deltona's Code Compliance Officer. This will be case number DEL 22-190, City of Deltona versus Barry and Daniel Kalecki. Property address is 741 Waterfall Circle. The parcel ID is 81302819020. It's a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 38-110, subsection 2, debris, which states that accumulations of waste, yard, trash, rubble, or debris are declared a nuisance and must be abated in their entirety. Statutory requirements for this notice of hearing have been met by notice of hearing, and the notice of violation was sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed at the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices are posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the code board clerk. I certify that all photographs will be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken or obtained via public records. This case has got a new number, but it had the incorrect brother on the original notice of violation. However, the notice of hearing was correct. It's regarding the debris that's on the property that's adjacent to Mr. Kalecki's property that he and his brother own collectively.
Jointly.
The issue with that, though, is the property's not connected to Mr. Kalecki's property, and as such cannot be developed in the way it has been cleared, developed. He had stored a whole bunch of items on it. I was down at the property.
Let me interrupt. So go back to that last slide. The one where it looks like someone scraped the property. That one. All right, is that the property we're talking about?
That's the property we're talking about. The work that was done there in the clearing should not have been done initially.
But that's not the case tonight.
It's debris. What you're looking at there was accumulation of large amounts of mulch, which basically.
So that picture does show what the city's bringing to me tonight.
Parts of it, yes, but there was a lot of things stored behind the fence. He had cut down trees, which once again should not have been done on an undeveloped property.
Stop right there. Is that the same parcel?
That's the same. That's behind the fence area there.
So the part of it's been cleared, and then part of it hasn't been cleared.
That's correct. But this case is in any kind of debris that's on there. He shouldn't have had anything there. Being undeveloped, you can't store anything on it. You can't cut anything down. He did apply for a permit for the fence. However, that now has expired, so he needs to do that.
We're not here on the fence tonight.
Right. I was down at the property earlier, and Mr. Kalecki has done a lot of work down there. However, there's still a few items that need to be cleared up. The clearing and stuff, the damage has been done, but we just want to make sure that the property is used properly, that it's not used for storage.
So let me understand. Is the property in compliance?
It's not in compliance, but what we would request is 30 extra days for him to come into compliance and before a fine.
Okay. All right. Mr. Kalecki, what do you have to say? They're saying you're almost in compliance.
Fair enough.
They're giving you 30 more days.
This picture was taken 5/11.
Right.
Doesn't look like that right now. It's all cleaned up.
That's what he's just said.
Yeah.
Right, but I want to know what's not in compliance on that property.
Okay, fair enough. It's a good question. What specifically needs to be done for it to come into compliance?
This was taken today. There's still piles of the debris. There's still some other small items on there. Once again, nothing should be on that property at all.
That's my home.
And
okay, hang on a second. Leave it right there. This case has to do with the vacant lot that is owned by Mr. Kalecki and his brother. Separate parcel from where his home is.
yes, and this I took from city right-of-way in a swale area. This, and I zoomed in, this is actually the property adjacent to Mr. Kalecki's.
This is not his home.
That's not his home. That's behind the fence area.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Not true. I made sure, I'm swearing under testimony. The truth is, everything you see there is on my property.
So,
He's on an angle, on the side of the property. Is that true?
I was at the base near the water.
So you're,
And taken more at a perpendicular.
he's taking it from the side, so he don't see it from the back. And I know where my property line is. On the right side there with the roof there, you said that's on my property, correct?
That, well, I said that I zoomed in to get behind your property.
Right.
Let's see.
Well, we've got a factual dispute here. City's saying that if it wasn't on your property where your house is, we're all agreeing that it would be a violation, you have to take it off.
Right.
So the issue is it on your property with your house, or is it on the vacant lot that you own with your brother? That's the factual issue. And I'm hearing your testimony, and I'm hearing your testimony, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it.
If I may, this is a picture that I zoomed in from across the lake. You can see Mr. Kalecki's house. His property itself is not that wide, so...
Well, let me interject, because I want to do the right thing here. And that is that, you look at his house and you look, we don't know where the lot line is. I don't know where the lot line is. Hang on a second. So the only way I can know exactly, the only way I can really know what's going on here is if I...
There's the property line. So you can see the property line that we're dealing with is very close to his house. The items that I took pictures of were in the property that we're dealing with currently.
Okay, leave that up. Okay, Mr. Kalecki, what do you say to that?
When you see the hen house, which I call it, it's just okay? It's on my property, on my house property. So when you look at the other picture, you can see where it is. That doesn't really tell us anything right there. My property is pie-shaped. That one's a little pie-shaped. Mine's more pie-shaped. So it's wider.
Okay, well, I don't know. Let me ask you a question. It's for anybody. That picture shows a red line running around the vacant lot. Is that correct? See how it's got a red line running around what I understand to be showing the dimensions, the perimeter of the vacant lot. Is that correct?
This was acquired by the property appraiser's office.
It's of the vacant lot, though. That's my question. Not where it lives.
Well, the vacant lot is the lot we're talking about because it is not, it's owned by both.
I get it, but what we're looking at is the one line on the vacant lot, which is towards the top of that picture, because that's where we're having the dispute of whether the
That's
debris and the trash are on the vacant lot, which is a violation, versus on the lot where his house, where it would not be a violation.
That's correct. And it would be easily satisfied if we could get 30 days, if Mr. Kalecki would let us on the property when he thinks he's in compliance.
Yes, sir.
yeah, I was just going to say that the inside those red lines is the property line of
The
that
vacant
separate
lot.
parcel that he's been bringing material onto that you're not supposed to have anything onto because it's a non-combined lot.
And I get that.
So and that's why we've got the debris issue over there
And I
because of
get
those items.
that. My problem is that he's testifying under oath that it's his property and that he knows, I'm not saying he's telling the truth, I'm just saying what I'm hearing. He's saying, no, that's not on the vacant lot, that's on my property.
Well,
And y'all are saying, no, it's not on his property with the house, it's on the vacant lot.
Mr. Reichman, I'd like to ask, because I know, if I remember right, Danny Ron went out with them this morning and looked at that property. Is that correct?
No, I was not able to make it out to that location.
Okay,
No, I took the pictures down there myself.
okay. I was going to go for a second thought on it.
Well, apparently a lot of work has been done. Yes, sir, go ahead.
This might help. Show us the picture again where it shows the chicken house. Because you said that appeared to be on my property. You said that this morning on the phone.
You know what, I've
No,
seen that.
no,
I've seen
actually,
that.
that's, that was not our conversation. The conversation I said is that I had allowed you to have the chicken because you're going to be making a chicken coop. We're going to let you have that until you get your permit for the chickens. I did not state where I thought it was.
Okay, fair enough. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue this case for the next hearing, the next month, which is 30 days. And in the meantime, one of two things is going to happen. One of the following things is going to happen. Either the city's going to come back and they're going to have, you know, some sort of survey or to prove to me what stuff is still on the vacant lot. Clear. That's option number one. Option number two, both of you are going to come back and tell me that you were in agreement and everything's been removed that needs to be removed off the vacant lot. Okay? So I'm going to give you 30 days to try to work this out, but I'm telling the city, I'm inclined, towards saying that there's a violation here, but I don't have clear evidence of that. I'm not comfortable tonight saying, because this gentleman has testified under oath that this is on his property. Fair enough. So let's prove it. Let's prove that it's on the vacant lot or not. So let's get that clarified before we come back, because I have to find by preponderance of the evidence. I hear what you're saying, but I hear this gentleman, and I just can't get there yet. So let's give you 30 days. Now, sir, you've got 30 days. If it's on your vacant lot, if they're right, and I'm not saying they are, but if they're right within that 30 days before the next hearing, let's get it off that vacant lot, okay?
Yes, sir, but
Okay.
I have a question.
Yep.
They're saying I can't have anything on that property, okay? What I want to do is have planters on there and grow stuff. And
That's a different issue. That's a different issue. Discuss with them.
That's what he says.
That's not what we're here on tonight.
Well,
Okay? So I'm going to continue this case for 30 days to the next hearing. See if y'all can get this straightened out.
in the meantime, is my property in compliance?
This
My
case,
house property.
only the cases, there were two cases tonight. One had to do with the yellow piece of equipment. That's all I've heard tonight, and then this one, which I continued. So I don't know if your property's otherwise in compliance or non-compliance. I'm just telling you, Mr. Kolecki, that I've heard two cases. We resolved both of them.
Okay.
Or we continued one and resolved the other, okay? Now, if there's any other issues you've got going on with the city, I'm not hearing them tonight, okay?
My paperwork said we were.
That's all I've got. I don't have any more cases for you, sir.
Mr. Burkett is.
Now, just notice for these two cases, he does have another case that's
There's no
in the
more
works.
cases tonight.
Nothing
I'm not
tonight.
saying that there aren't situations you've got with the city for other matters, but those are the only two cases that are on the agenda for me tonight.
Okay.
Okay.
So.
All right. Next is 2435 Academy. That's 22183 and 22185. Officer Scott. Okay, this one is Karen Blakicki. Okay. The first one has to do with debris and trash. The second has to do with the use of the right-of-way.
My name is Officer Scott. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case DEL 22183, City of Deltona versus Karen Blakicki. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right.
We'll get it straight in a second.
Property address is 2435 Academy Avenue. Parcel ID is 81303-215-0060. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 38110 Bravo 2, which states accumulation of waste yard, waste rubble, and/or debris are declared to be a nuisance and must be abated in their entirety. Corrective action for said violation is to properly dispose or store inside of enclosed building. The statutory requirements for the notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's record. In addition, both notices were posted on the property at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken. This case was started as a complaint on March 4th, 2022 for debris on around the property. Due to a history at this property for debris, I posted a 7-day abatement notice and spoke with both the property owner and her son. On March 18th, the son of the property owner allowed me to view the right side of the property where I observed cabinets and more debris under the curtilage. Some of the debris were removed, so more time was given. On April 7th and May 26th site visit, debris was still on the property. The notice of hearing was posted on the property on June 8th, and the property was still in violation. I also spoke with the son of the property owner, who stated he would have it cleaned up. I conducted a site visit today. As of 18 hours, the property remains in violation. The city would like to request 7 days for the property to come into compliance or a fine of $100 per day to be imposed until such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
Thank you, sir. Sir, if you could give me your name.
Jeff Wakicki.
And I guess that your mom owns the property?
Yes.
Okay. So it looks like we've got some things that need to get removed. What do you want me to hear?
I removed it.
You'll take care of it?
I did it already.
Okay, he says that
I went by there today at 4:18 today, and then I have current pictures that's flashing around. I can show you.
Okay, stop. Let's show me the ones that
I'm pulling
are
them up.
taken today that show the property still in violation. Those are the ones we all need to see.
There's one there.
So that's today.
That was
Yes,
me
sir.
cleaning out my garage.
4:18.
Do you have any others showing the violations as of today? Today?
No, I had 3, but I only see 2. But I did print out some, so. Yeah.
Okay, I want you to show those to the gentleman first. Let's identify them. These are the pictures that you took today that you're saying the property's still not in compliance.
Different today? That's why I was cleaning up my garage today. I was waiting on it. Yeah.
Okay, I need to see them. All right, sir, you've seen those photos. Do you understand that there's just there's a little bit more work to be done?
Yeah, I was working on my garage, cleaning out my garage.
Okay.
It was garbage day, so it looks worse.
Yeah, I mean, these are taken today. I mean, there's still some work to be done here, sir.
Yeah, it looks worse today than it did before. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was cleaning out my garage.
Okay, I just responding, you had said earlier that everything's been fixed up, and these photos, looks like you have done some work, which we appreciate, but there's more to be done. They're saying that, the city's saying that it's going to give you 7 more days to comply. Is that going to give you enough time?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to give these back to the city. And you know what? I'm going to keep those right here.
Yeah, you can put them in the
Keep those right here.
Hey,
All right.
Mr. Reichman, can you advise him to let us know when it's done?
Yeah.
And so we have to see
Sir,
it.
I didn't get your first name.
Jeff.
Jeff, I'm going to agree, and you've agreed, we're going to do this, give you 7 more days to get everything removed. And then if you don't, then there's going to be a fine. We don't want that.
Yeah, I understand.
You've heard what I've told other folks. So it's really, really important that when you get it all fixed up, let this guy know right here. Okay. So we don't want the fine. Okay? Okay, that's that case. I think we've got one more.
Can you advise what the fine will be for that?
$100 per day.
Okay.
Thank you. I forgot. My bad. Okay. So we got one more case at this property. This one has to do with use of the right-of-way, Jeff. So
Yes,
I'm going to let him go first, and then we'll talk with you, okay?
Stole.
My name is Officer Scott. I'm employed by the city of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This case will be DEL 22185, the City of Deltona versus Karen Blekicki. The property, makes me tongue-tied. The property address is 2435 Academy Avenue. Parcel ID is 8130321500060. This is a violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance Section 5831, which states that the use of any city right-of-way, including appendages and the use of any public lands under the authority of the City Commission, except their intended purpose, without prior written consent of the city, shall be prohibited. The corrective action for said violation is to cease usage of the right-of-way or obtain a right-of-way use permit if available. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's record. In addition, both notices were posted on the property at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken. This proactive case was started on March 18th, 2022, while addressing other violations at the property. I spoke with the son of the property owner and advised him that he cannot access his front yard using the right-of-way. He would need to use the driveway apron. On April 7th site visit, I observed tire marks on the left side front yard and runs through the right-of-way. A notice of violation was then issued to the property owner, who stated she would get her son to get this resolved. I conducted more site visits on April 30th and May 26th, and the tire marks was easily visible in the right-of-way. The notice of hearing was posted on the property on June 8th. I spoke with the son of the property owner regarding this hearing. I conducted a site visit today, and as of 17 hours, the property remains in violation. The city would like to request 7 days for the property to come into compliance, or a fine of $100 per day to be imposed until such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
Thanks, sir. Okay, Jeff, what do you have to say about this?
I didn't know how to get into compliance.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. Let's talk about that. Okay. Can you leave that right there? Leave that right there if you would.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You could go back.
I made a driveway up there. I was working on my driveway.
Pictures are always helpful.
Yeah.
So just hang on a second. Okay, let's leave there. Now, as I understand this lot, you've got a driveway that runs from your home garage all the way to the street. We're not talking about that. We're talking about where that van is that's blue, that's that one right there. And you've got some cars parked in your front yard.
There's a driveway there now.
Pardon me?
There's a driveway there now.
Not in the right-of-way.
Not in the right-of-way, no. There's nothing in the right-of-way.
You can't put nothing in the right-of-way. You can't access
There's nothing in the right-of-way today.
Well, it's more than that. Let me tell you what the code violation is. See where that darker van is?
It's facing the wrong way?
No, that's not the problem. The problem is that's the city right-of-way. I know you think that the right-of-way is just a street, but actually the city right-of-way goes to the sidewalk. And the problem we've got here, Jeff, is that you're accessing your property over the city right-of-way, which is that dirt area. That's the code violation. So what you would have to do, in my opinion, I'll ask this of the city, you would need to get a right-of-way use agreement with the city to continue to use the right-of-way to gain access to your property. So in other words, what you probably have to do is get a permit to put in another driveway.
Yeah, I can see if I can pour a slab down there.
Well, you have to get a permit for that.
Yeah, I understand.
So to bring it into compliance, you either got to stop using the right-of-way, or you got to get a permit and put in basically a second driveway.
I could have done that if I was told. That's how they take care of the situation.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Say it again.
I could have done that if I was told. That's how they take care of the situation.
Fair, and
so I'm here to find out.
We're going to give you, that's why we're here tonight, is to make sure we all understand what the situation is and give you a reasonable period of time. So what I'm hearing and what I'm finding is that the property is in violation. And we need to find out what's a reasonable period of time for you to do what you need to do to be able to continue to use that right-of-way, which is get a permit to put in a, if you can get one, put in a driveway, second driveway. And I don't know, Jeff, whether you're going to be able to get that permit or not. Way above my pay grade. So I want to find out from the city.
If I can't.
If you can.
If I can't, then what?
Well, that's what we need to talk about tonight. So I'm going to ask someone from the city, if you can, if this gentleman were to come in tomorrow morning and apply to put in a driveway, Jeff, a second driveway.
I already have one there, it's just I don't have it on the right of way.
Right, but you're going to need to get it on the driveway. You're going to have to get a permit to extend that driveway over the right-of-way.
Yeah,
For there to be a code compliance. You follow me?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm asking the city, how would the city's response to that be?
If he doesn't have enough room in order to add a secondary driveway on the other side of the property, I don't know how wide the drive, is it a two-car
Okay,
driveway or a
I
single
get it.
car?
So we don't know. Jeff, we don't know.
Two-car driveway, so if it's a two-car entrance, the only thing you could do is drive into your driveway through the apron, up over the sidewalk, and then once you get over the sidewalk, you can make a driveway extension from there. But you can't access it from the other side if you cannot get a permit
Yeah, I
to
already
do
have that now.
Huh?
I already have that.
Yeah.
I already have a driveway down there now.
Yeah, so you can use your normal driveway and make a driveway extension if you need more parking on the side of that. Or you can try and pull a right-of-way use
Okay, so let me
permit,
ask
put in a
this
secondary
question. What are
driveway.
we looking at for a reasonable period of time for this gentleman to come in and go through the process of either getting the permit or not getting the permit?
I would say if he came in with a survey and everything else, he could get the permit within a couple days at the most. So I would say we'd probably want to extend it just a little bit to give him some more time to finish that.
Do you have a survey of your lot?
How long does it take to get a survey?
I don't know how long it takes to get a survey.
Let me ask the question. Do you know whether your mom has a survey of your lot, of her home's lot?
Probably.
Okay. Because what I'm hearing in the city, and this is consistent with my understanding, is that in order for them to make this determination under the code, they need to find out the dimensions of your mom's lot, which is fair, because there's going to be parameters in the code of ordinances about how much land you need in order to be able to put in another driveway. Okay. So I want to give you enough time to be able to go through that process. That's what I'm trying to get to right now, is to make sure we have a reasonable amount of time for you to come into compliance, to do what you need to do. So I'm going to say that I'm going to give you 30 days to come into compliance. Now, how you come into compliance is really up to you and to the city. 30 days or a fine of $100 per day. So what I'm asking you to do, Jeff, is go home, talk to your mom, see if she's got a survey. If she does, you bring it into the city and you tell them what you need, and then they'll process it. If that's the case, you should have no trouble meeting this deadline.
Your Honor, just if I can interject.
Absolutely.
Keep in mind that the city typically operates on, a survey no older than 2 years old.
Okay, that's good for him to know.
Not always, but typically. I don't know what the age of this house is. I'm not sure what the...
How long has your mom owned the house?
I don't know.
It was built in 2005.
Okay, so if the survey that your mom gives back to you is the survey that she got at the closing, it's probably not going to be good enough.
Yeah.
Any idea from anyone here about what it takes to get a survey, just the dimensions in today's real world?
Yeah, typically we're seeing, at least 30 days, and, I can't, I was asked this just yesterday, and I would estimate the cost is probably about $1,000 plus
All right.
minus.
I'm not going to give you 30 days, Jeff. I'm going to give you 45 days. Okay? I'm going to give you more time so you can either get from the survey, a good survey from your mom, or go out and get one.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's what we're doing tonight. The property needs to come into compliance. I'm going to give you 45 days to do what you need to do, or a fine of $100 per day.
Yeah.
All right?
So I'm trying to find out.
Okay. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks a
Hope
lot.
it works out for you. Okay, I think do we have any other cases with respondents there?
No, sir.
Okay, let's go back to the beginning.
Yes, sir.
We're going to start out with DEL 22087. Let's see, I think there might be two of them here. Yeah, two cases. These are both Massey cases.
My name is Kristen Coulter. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be Massey case number DEL 22-087, the City of Deltona versus Elizabeth A. Morris Trust. The property address is 779 Tulip. The parcel ID number is 813-00343-0190. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. It was ruled on April 27th that the property owner was given 30 days to comply. The owner did not come into compliance within those 30 days and has been receiving a fine of $50 a day since May 28, 2022. As of today, the property has accrued a total fine of $1,300 over 26 days. The city is requesting that the fines continue at $50 per day.
So the fine is $1,300 total as of today, 26 days at $50 per day,
Correct.
with the fine to continue.
Correct.
Any contact with the owner?
I did speak with her today. She is aware. I've given her the pamphlet for a roof grant with the city to try to figure out how we can get it taken care of. She has not yet expressed any timeline of when she's going to be able to get that roof
She
taken
knows
care
that the
of.
fine's running, though.
She does.
Okay. So ordered. Next case, I believe it's still yours, ma'am. It's DEL 22089. Same property owner. This has to do with exterior surfaces.
My name is Kristen Coulter. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be Massey case number DEL 22-089, the City of Deltona versus Elizabeth A. Morris Trust. The property address is 779 Tulip. The parcel ID number is 813-00343-0190. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. It was ruled on April 27, 2022, that the property owner was given 14 days to comply. The owner did not come into compliance within those 14 days and has been receiving a fine of $100 a day since May 12th. As of today, the property has accrued a total fine of $4,200 over 42 days. The property is in compliance as of my inspection today, and the city requests that no fine be imposed.
What is the city's request?
A no fine be imposed.
Notwithstanding the $4,200. Okay, it's in compliance. So ordered.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see what the next one is. There you go. DEL case 2209-9, 1596 Canfield. I believe this is our last Massey case.
One more.
My name is Marion Laracy. I'm employed with the City of Deltona as Code Compliance Officer. This is Massey case number DEL 22099, City of Deltona versus Sandra L. Hughes. Property address is 1596 Canfield. Parcel ID is 813-055-030-0100. Statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by notice of hearing, notice of code violation sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with property appraisers. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken. It was ruled April 27th that the property owner was given 21 days to comply. The owner did not come into compliance within those 21 days and has been receiving a fine of $100 a day since May 19, 2022. As of today, the property has accrued a total fine of $3,400 over 34 days. Property is still in violation and is requesting the fines to continue $100 per day.
Any communication with the property owner?
No, sir.
So the total fine as of today of $3,400 at $100 per day, 34 days, still in violation, fine to continue at $100 per day.
Yes, sir.
So ordered.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, the next case that I have is DEL 22134. Where are we with 22134? Didn't have that marked off. 134. Officer Laracy, 22134. What's the status of that one?
She is gone.
She's gone, boy.
She just walked out?
Wasted no time. I just don't have it on my, hang on, let me see. Yeah, I don't see it marked out on the list that I was given as withdrawn or continued.
134.
22134, this is Gregory Drive. Blight. I'm not trying to make more work, folks. I just don't want to, if no one's here. Just trying to figure.
Go ahead, continue that, sir.
Okay, so we'll go on to the next one. So the next one I have is 22163.
Can you hold on that one? We were looking for the folder on that one, 163.
22134, for the record, what's the status of that? It's on the agenda tonight.
That's on Gregory.
Yeah, it's not ready yet.
We'll continue it?
Okay. So continue that case.
Okay, just for the record, the case of 22134 is continued.
That's on the sheet.
Okay, thank you. Next case on the agenda is 22163. Is the city ready to proceed on that?
We went looking for the folder, sir. You can hold out to the end.
Okay. 22166, Officer Suckup. This is 178 Rosedale, accessory structures.
My name is Taylor Sukup. I am employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 22-166, the City of Deltona versus Jiggers Jennifer Key. The property address is 178 Rosedale. The parcel ID is 8130594000310. This is a violation of the City of Deltona Code Ordinance Section 18-5, adopting the latest section of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 302.7, which states all accessory structures, including detached garages, fences, and walls, shall be maintained and kept in good repair and sound structural condition. Corrective action for said violation is to repair or remove the structure, in this case the fence. The statutory requirements for the notification of this hearing have been met by. The notice of hearing and the notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property at City Hall at least 10 days prior to the hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked in exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate's clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. This case started April 3rd of 2022. Proactively, I gave a courtesy notice by a door hanger on April 3rd, followed by a notice of violation on April 18th. No contact has been made with the owner, and the property is still currently in violation. The city would like to request 10 days for the property to come into compliance, or a fine of $150 per day to be imposed until such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
So make sure I understand this. We're talking about the fence. What's the violation?
It's in disrepair.
Got it. What's the city looking for number of days to comply?
10 days.
Okay, I'm going to order that the property remains in violation, 10 days to comply, or $100 per day fine. Okay?
Thank you.
Next case that I have is 22168. Right. Look at that, 22168. Debris and trash. Acorn Court. I think from looking at all the cases tonight, City Commission of the City of Deltona needs to build some more storage facilities. Because we got a lot of debris and trash here, folks, in the little city of Deltona.
Good evening, sir. My name is Bashir Turkzi. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 22168, the City of Deltona versus Bromwich and Brian K. The property address is 1197 Acorn Court. Parcel ID number is 81-300-2200-270. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 38110B2, which states that accumulations of waste, yard trash, rubble, and/or debris are declared to be a nuisance and must be abated in their entirety. Correction action for said violation is to dispose of items properly or store inside an enclosed building. Statutory requirements. The statutory requirements for notifications of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation being sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. This was a proactive case that was opened on March 7th for excessive debris and outside storage at this location. A notice of violation was posted the same day due to previous history at this address, and the resident was given until March 16th to address the violations. Contact was kept with the property owner and several extensions were granted. However, upon my reinspection today, the property was still in violation.
Any progress, or it's just basically the same?
It's exactly the same, if not worse.
Got it.
The city would like to request 14 days for the property to come into compliance or a fine of $200 per day to be imposed until such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
So did you talk with anybody today when you went out there?
No, I wasn't able to make contact today.
How many times do you think you've talked with this property owner about?
At least, I want to say 10 times.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to understand the context of this thing. I mean, did they say, yeah, I'll do it because I need more time because I'm sick, or I've got, do they give you an excuse, or?
There was several violations. They had another case. We had another case open at this address for the same property owner. Not the same address, but he had another lot adjacent to this address. So he had complied with that, and he's claiming that he's by himself and he's got health issues.
Yeah.
That's why he wasn't able to.
Is the tenancy or owner occupied?
It's owner occupied.
Yes, sir.
Owner occupied, yep.
Mr. Reichman, there is a long history at this property, to include us filing state statute charges and that he was arrested for.
Okay.
Back years ago for the same thing.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to agree that the property remains in violation, giving the property 14 days to comply, or $200 per day. It's requested by the city of Deltona.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, the next case is 22176, Steve Brockhoff, Officer Brockhoff. This is 3227 Parma Drive. Permit.
sir, we did find that folder. We had to change the address, but it's next.
May I proceed?
Go ahead, please, sir. I'm sorry.
My name is Steve Brockhoff, employee with the City of Deltona as enforcement officer. This will be case number DEL 22-176, City of Deltona versus Mary M. Tucker. Property address is, excuse me, 3227 Parma Drive. The property ID is 8103030301040. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-3, adopting the latest edition of the Florida Building Code, Section 105.1, which states that any owner, authorized agent who intends to construct, enlarge, alter, repair, move, demolish, or change the occupancy of a building or structure, or to erect, install, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, convert, or replace any electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system, the installation of which is regulated by this code, or to cause such work to be done, shall first make application from the building official and obtain a required permit. Statutory requirements for this notification of the hearing have been met by the notice of hearing, notice of violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices are posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to the hearing and also on the property. All evidence of this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the code board clerk. I certify that all the photographs be true and accurate portrayals of what I took the day that, what I observed the day they were taken or obtained through public records. This case began March 27th after receiving a complaint from regarding a shed that was installed without a permit. The complaint came in by the neighbors adjacent to the property on the left. So I initially spoke with the homeowner who stated she was unaware that they needed a permit and gave her time to comply. Nothing happened, and so I hand-delivered a notice of a violation to a young lady who stated she was a resident but wasn't the homeowner on May 16th. The permit was still not pulled by the compliance date, so I prepared the notice of hearing for this. I have, although one of the times I've been on the property and told them what the violation was, there have been people home. I have never received any communication from the property owner whatsoever. You can see it's a formidable building. The complainants are stating that somebody is living in there. I can't substantiate that, but it is a building on property that does not have a permit, and as of 10 o'clock this morning, there still has not been a permit pulled. The city would request 30 days because it's probably going to require a survey and then a fine of $100 a day.
So ordered.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Just looking through the rest of the agenda. Where are we on 22189? Officer Segarra. Property, I don't have it continued or withdrawn. Property address 2001 Felix Lane. If y'all look at your agenda, unapproved bin.
22189 was withdrawn.
Is this withdrawn?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so let's go back to 22163.
Tyler.
Okay, this one, yeah, Officer Russo, this is 1190 Odin Terrace. Has to do with house numbering.
My name is Tyler Russo. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 22-163, the City of Deltona versus, I believe it's Shayna Dixon. The property address is 1190 Odin Terrace. The parcel ID number is 813-044-030-100. This is a violation of City Ordinance Section 18-5, adopting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 304.3, which states that all buildings will have approved address numbers placed in a position to be plainly legible and visible from the street or road fronting the property. These numbers shall be Arabic numerals and alphabet letters. Numbers shall be a minimum of 4 inches high with a minimum stroke width of 0.5 inches. The corrective action for said violation is to properly display the address number on the front of the building or to a separate structure, such as the mailbox, post, wall, fence, or etc., in front of the building. Numbers shall be Arabic and shall not be less than 4 inches in height and half an inch in width. The statutory requirements for this notification of hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed in the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. On April 21st, 2022, I came across 1190 Odin Terrace that did not have any type of numerics on their home address. I checked around the front face of the home, driveway, front door, and around the front of the property for some type of numerics. I never located any numerics on the property, so I left the door hanger and gave the owner their 7 days before posting a notice of violation to correct the issue. I visited the property numerous times and have not made contact with any of the residents to explain the violation at hand. To this day, there are still no numerics anywhere on the property. The city would like to request 30 days for the property to come into compliance or a fine of $50 per day to be imposed until such time that the property owner has been notified the city of compliance.
I'll absolutely enter the order, but I got to ask this question.
Yes, sir.
What caused you to drive by this property and realize that there was a code violation, that the numerals weren't up there?
So I was driving down the road, and one of the things that I look out for is numerics on the property, and I guess a little bit of history. I used to be a pizza delivery driver, and it was hard to find addresses. So this is definitely
there had to be a reason, because this is pretty far out there. I've never had one of these before. There's got to be a reason why this is here tonight. So, okay, so ordered, and I think that makes sense.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, that's it for tonight. Anything further from the city? We're adjourned. Appreciate it.
Pizza tonight.
Thank you.